This is a group of 6 people. It includes Kyle, Paul, Katie, Owen, Ron, and Joanne. In this group, each member has roles, functions, or parts to play. Paul is the funny guy. Paul likes to make jokes to make everybody else feel comfortable and happy. Joanne is the expert. She is very smart and knows the topic that they are discussing. She can use evidence and research to prove her opinions. Ron is the leader. It is his job to start the meeting and to move it along, and also conclude the meeting. Katie likes conflict. She often doesn't agree with what the others say. She has her own thoughts and ideas that she likes to voice. Kyle just wants to go home. He doesn't care about the meeting. He just wants for it to be over. He often pushes it along and puts people on task. Owen is the grumpy man. He doesn't like the rest of the group and doesn't get along with the others. He often has his own opinion that is different to the group. We should also consider the leadership and power of the group. Paul uses his socio-emotional power to influence the group. He uses jokes and humor to make people laugh and to disrupt any conflict. Joanne draws on her expert power. She knows what she's doing, and she uses her knowledge to influence the group. Ron is a transformational leader. He inspires the group to work together and to give them pride in what they're doing. And this draws on his referent power, the power to get people to build connections and get along. Katie is destructive. Her opinion often differs from the rest of the group, and she is destructive as her opinion creates conflict with the opinion of the group. This can slow down the meeting. Kyle is task-oriented. He likes for the meeting to go as quickly as possible so that it can be over and he can go home. Owen is also destructive. He doesn't like what other people say and will often use his own thoughts without any evidence or research to talk to the group, often in ways that create conflict. So when we think about the group, we have 3 things to think about: the roles and relationships in the group, the conflict and cooperation of the group, and the leadership and power bases of the group. These are things that we have just covered. Now we will look at a small example of their meeting. Good evening, everyone, Ron says. Today is our meeting. We are going to be talking about the weather. The weather is something that's very important to consider. It has changed a lot recently, and it is very cold right now. What are your thoughts on this, Joanne? Well, the research shows that the weather is changing, and it's not just changing to get colder in the winter, it is also changing to be hotter in the summer. Well, that's not how I see it, Owen says. For me, it's always been cold in the winter, and I don't see what the problem is with the heat in the summer. It just means that all the young ones can't go to the beach. Ha, Paul says. That's a first. You're not agreeing with us again, really? Come on, Kyle says. Let's just stay on track. We've got to keep this meeting going. What's your opinion on the weather, Katie? I think you're all wrong. Even though the weather is changing and it's hot and cold more than it used to be, I think there's another factor, another thing that is changing the weather that neither of the two ideas considers. And young people don't always go to the beach, Owen. That's such an old thing to think. Well, everyone, Ron says, thank you for your ideas in this meeting. It is good to see that you're all thinking about what is happening with the weather. Thank you for joining us for our meeting. Goodbye.